Kiwi producer Rory Noble has just released his new EP where he asks the musical question, where do we go when the world ends? Here's Rory to explain.
What if I can't?
You got your EP that just came out, right? How did it go?
Yeah, good. It's been a long process, and I guess it's good to have it out. Like it's just like another cool, especially like to tick off that, like having out like this is my first body of work as an artist.
Right.
So yeah, it feels good.
Why did it take so long to get it out in this form?
That's a really good question. I think it was a mixture of just like prioritizing, figuring out when, like the songs have been finished for a while,
Right.
but like also just not putting any rush to anything. Like I think one of the songs I would have made at the end of last year, and the first song, like the earliest song I've made for the project was in 2018. So just kind of selecting what kind of works and what makes sense in a story for me.
Right.
But yeah, and then also like COVID and that, I think that kind of stunted everything and made everyone just go, "Oh, what do we do?
Yeah.
What do we do?"
There was a lot of that, yes. What do we do? Anyway, I guess we're out of it. I don't know. I can't tell anymore, but seems different. Yeah. So it's curious because I know out of the 5 tracks, several of them had been out for a while. I'm wondering if the response to those had anything to do with the ones that were left behind. Did you take into account how people reacted to them? Any feedback that people gave?
To be honest, I think I really shut off in that way where I'm like in terms of, I think there's only one song, or actually Team, which was the first single that we put out in like, maybe I think that would have been 2020 actually.
Okay.
We put that out, but I made it in 2019, and kind of before then, I didn't really like have any plans to release anything. And I took that song into, I was like friends with some of this Spotify editorial team in Sydney, and I went to go meet up with them, play them some music. So obviously I produced for other artists and
Right.
that, and I played them that song, and it was actually their encouragement to actually, if you put that out, like we'll give you some support.
Cause I got my whole fucking team with me. Cause right now all y'all do is sleep on me. Cause I got my whole fucking team with me. Team, I got 'em bad, they gon' get me too, yeah.
So that was kind of the only like real feedback that I took on board, was the actual initial, yeah, you should actually put out some artist stuff.
Right.
And I think everything from then has just been like, it's just me exploring my own creativity as a producer. So even if some people like there's different production elements and sort of vibes across the whole EP, that's just been me kind of having fun with just exploring.
Right.
So people have given me feedback on songs, but I kind of have just tuned it out a bit because I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just always curious to know what I even like as well. Like, and I think that's what it should come down to at the end of the day. Is just like, just put out some stuff you like that you can feel happy to show people, and so.
Right. So you had to rethink how you look at yourself differently as rather than the producer, as an artist. What kind of process was that for you?
It's a hard one because I know, like I give a lot of artists that I work with, especially locally, like sort of help with figuring out what they should do as an artist. But then actually to go be an artist is a whole different thing. Like kind of helping develop an artist or guide someone to actually then having to step into that is that's. I think being a producer, most producers I know, they play that role of like, how do we actually put these songs out? What does this actually look like as an artist? But to step into it is different because I know how demanding it is as well to like really be an artist. Like there's a lot, and I think I'm definitely lucky enough to have the fact that I've been a producer like for a while. That helps me go to like actually shut off a lot of the fears that most artists would have, I think, in terms of like what people think of their music, and that fear of putting stuff out and actually like letting people into like your vulnerable self. Creatively, I just think like, man, I make so much music all the time. I'm just having fun. So like, I don't care what people think really. Like I do, but like, as long as, you know, it can help, like music can, like my music can, if it can do something for someone, that's just dope. At the end of the day, like, I'm just going to put out, if I want to make a different, like this sort of record this time, like that is completely different than the last, then I'm going to do that. I just want to explore. So.
Alrighty. So if Team was the first one out of the 5 tracks that kind of saw the light of day, what was the second one after that?
In terms of like,
which got released next?
Oh, what got released next? So next was High Again. That was a song that I've had since, that was when I was saying the early, I made that in 2018. Right. So that was like a very, and the original version was very like different to what it is now. It's definitely had some life put into it. Yeah, and that's a, like, I don't know, they all the songs have like a different meaning, and all of them feel like, I think I have like a preference what's my favorite, but then at the end of the day, all of them are just like, they all play a different part in my life story or story of the last few years. So yeah.
And I see that one you had a video that was very scenic. Looks like you might have gone to Huia Falls and a bunch of other places.
And we could be high again, I know. And if it was all pretend, I know.
About visually what the songs are going to represent when you're making them?
Slightly. Oh yeah, I think, well, the whole vibe of like all the songs, like the whole idea of the EP, like where do we go when the world ends, comes from visual memories I have of like, it was actually in 2019 especially, I think late 2018 through 2019, I was having like dreams of what felt like like apocalyptic sort of world,
right?
And a lot of the dreams sort of strung together. Right. So even though like I could be sleeping a few weeks from the last dream, and another one will come, and it's like they joined, and it was really bizarre, like the whole year. And I remember telling people about it. I'm like, man, I'm having these crazy like world-ending dreams, and
that'll put a damper on your day, won't it? When you wake up, you're like, geez, what did I just go through?
Yeah. But it was like, it was weird because it's like the whole time it was not like, I don't know, everything around me, it's like I was observing the world ending, and I was kind of safe. Like sometimes it felt like I was in danger, but I don't think I was in any real danger, like in these. And I think I have all these sort of visual memories of those dreams where I wanted to make my songs, make the EP fit around that visually. And so the songs I've selected kind of helped play that part. And like not everything, and that, like, you know, it's not like every song's like this weird dark, like, you know, world ending vibe. It's just like in those moments, I guess, of like being in that sort of place, you know, it's like, it's almost like a story that could be told. So it has ups and downs. Like the whole project has like emotional ups and downs. Some stuff is really fun, and some stuff is quite, you know, like make you think, observant.
Yep. So the EP opens up with Headlines. Why is that there? Can you tell me about why, about the song and about making it?
Forget about it. Too scared to say what I got on my mind. Just a thought. And even if I think you blurred the lines, testing at 2 a.m. I need to know that I got control. Better by the world I'm in. They wanna see all the story unfold.
Headlines is the firstly the track order of everything has always confused me. Every time I think I just like I think when I was arranging the track order, I tried so many different things, and any way I managed to put it, I could figure out how the story meant to me. And so the track order now currently is just whatever I last was like. Yes, I think this makes sense.
Tomorrow it could be different.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, it was cool. I just wanted to really open the song, like the EP, with something fresh, but then also like something that really set the tone of like that. That is probably one of like the darkest feeling sort of song, and it's like almost everything gets a bit lighter after that, or a bit more thought. It's almost like that is like the meteorite hitting the earth, sort of, and then everything else is like if you survive that, and it's just like you're kind of just wandering around this like thought-provoking sort of thing. Yeah, and like that Headlines is a really cool song. Like that's definitely, I really wanted something on the EP that kind of sounded like that, because everything else is quite acoustic-y driven. And that's the more like 808 just hitting like quite heavy drum feeling, like quite aggressive. That's something I was like, as like I needed on that sort of project, just to also even just show that like, you know, there's just like the diversity and sounds and sonically what it, you know. So yeah.
Now you got a few people helping you out every once in a while, so it brings us to What If I Can't, where you got Mikey there. So tell me about your collaborative process and that song in general and in particular.
What if I can't? What if I can't? What if I can't be the one to tell you how to love yourself? What if I can't? What if I can't?
So Mikey has to go way back. That whole song was originally it was just guitar. I played the guitar and the piano, and I had written most of the song out, and I had a verse. No, I think it's kind of, if I get into a thing where I'm writing a whole song, I always leave the second verse empty, just because half time I just come back to it later, or don't even know what to like. Like by the time if I've managed to get a verse and a pre-chorus and a chorus out, I'm pretty stoked. Yeah, though, like second verse can come anytime. In this case, I just knew Mikey's voice. Like obviously, recording, producing Mikey for so many years, I was like, man, Mikey would probably kill this way better than me. So I sent it to Mikey just to record to, like, to get a second verse, and I think he sent something back in a day or something. And yeah, it felt right. I think like me and Mikey have got so many songs from sort of working together for so many years, like, and it was at some point we'd put out something together, whether as like me being a part of his project, or and especially him being on one of my songs. Like I think that one just felt right. Like when I got back, like this is dope. This is cool. It makes sense. It feels nice. It feels like a real beautiful song. So yeah, I was stoked with it. I was really stoked.
Cool. And you got a couple other folks that helping, as far as I know, Ben Malone and Simon Gooding. No, Simon, he seems to be everywhere. What did they do for you?
So I mean, Simon's a really good friend of mine. He mixed High Again, and also did some co-production stuff on there. But he's just like I don't know. He's just one of those guys in the industry that is just so easy to like be around, and like actually like if you're in terms of like having to open up a song where you're like emotionally vulnerable, like he is someone that's just like so easy to take whatever process that you need to have done and like kind of do it. So he mixed that and helped with some production stuff, and he took that song High Again to like the next level. Just the little things he added was just like it made every moment like it. The way he make something like impact is from taking something out or putting it back in somewhere else. And then Ben Malone is just like really collaborative friend, really close friend of mine who's a producer, songwriter. And he also helped me write some of the lyrics in High Again, but then he also co-wrote Under the Joshua Tree Stars with me.
Which brings us to that song. I think it's the only one we haven't talked about. So,
do you see what I see? Or am I going crazy again? I'm California dreaming, so I'll stay here for the evening.
Joshua Tree?
And underneath the stars.
Really? What's it like?
I've been there once. The whole song was about my experience there, and it was beautiful. It was a pretty unreal experience of sort of things that sort of aligned whilst I was there. As one of the most crazy experiences of my life, like going out there. By chance too.
How does that happen by chance?
With a friend. Well, I was with my other buddy Ryan, who's a big collaborator of mine. We were in LA doing some writing, and we have a friend, Vinny Bennett, who's an actor, who's a Kiwi actor, who was living there at the time. And we all had this friend his name was George, and George was staying out there with his girlfriend's family. And yeah, he essentially what happened was he invited us to come just one night, just to come hang out with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's family and stay the night out there. So when we left, it was like, it was in the evening. It was like 7. So what actually happened is like it's a really long story.
No hurry.
But I don't know if you want to I don't know how much to go into it, but it was just like a really cool experience where we all just sort of sat out and watched the stars, like from pretty much as soon as we got there till sunrise. Like we just stayed out and watched the stars, and it was nothing we'd ever seen before. Right. In terms of like how bright the like sky was, how like the stars, like it was crazy. It was cool. It was like, I think at that point it was nice to just have that sort of like connection in that sort of place. Right. It was just such a great, like, really cool experience with really cool people, like just like really chill.
Cool. And musically, the track itself has a different vibe than the rest of them. I think it's kind of a California dreaming kind of feel to it. Is that what you're thinking about? What kind of project?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like there's a mixture of 100%. Like I wanted that sort of feel to be like warm summer, like California summer night, like. But then also because I have there's a lot of sort of older country influences to it too, which is just that comes from my sort of music upbringing, and then my vocal being more sits in a more R&B sort of way on that track. I don't know. There's a cool mixture of all of that, and like I just wanted the vibe to feel like warm in a way. I think like that's how I felt when I was lying under the stars. Felt very warm.
Very nice. I'm interested now in your upbringing and listening to country music when you were growing up. What kind of stuff were you exposed to?
Oh man, everything. My dad was a performer, an entertainer. We're from Palmy, so I used to. Me and all my brothers used to gig with him a lot, like at different bars, taverns, and wedding shows. But we, outside of Palmy, is this little town, Fielding. Right. And every Sunday he dragged us to. He was the president of the Fielding Country Music Club, which was like I don't know, when I figured out later on that like when you think of like country club, you think nice, but this place was like in an old like sports bar, right? And that's like just people that were kind of average, just all sorts. A lot of old people that would come in and they'll put their name on the list, and everyone will get up and sing a song. The band will play it.
Yep.
And it ranged from like everything from like really early country stuff to even like, because I don't know, my dad and his bandmates were all, they like when they gigged, they played a lot of like soul and a lot of, and it had this weird mix of like I don't know, Eagles to like, I don't know, like Luther Vandross
Right.
to
Sounds cool though.
Bee Gees,
Right.
like Glenn Campbell.
There you go.
Like, I don't know, there's a weird mix of stuff. And I actually, like, when you're a kid and you're in this situation where you're playing these songs and like this is all you're exposed to. One, I started to hate it after a bit because I was like, man, like every Sunday, probably for like 4 or 5 years, or maybe even longer, I had my Sunday as a kid taken from me to go play this music. As a kid, I was like, man, I used to like almost like some Sundays be like I just want to hang out with my friends.
Right.
But then when I started becoming a producer, I realized how much all those music influences play a part into like what I do as a career.
Yeah.
And then also having that actual like almost like 10,000 hours put in to like be fluent in playing quite a few different instruments, from pretty much going there every Sunday, not wanting to, but like,
yep.
and experiencing that. Like that was something definitely like I don't think there weren't many other kids there. Like
Sure.
we experienced that. And I mean, it wasn't like all the musicians were crazy, and especially all the singers were pretty, half of them were pretty bad.
Right.
Like it was still like this is what you make of it. And like all those, like I know all of those older songs, and like I can, like when they come on like, or even going back on Spotify, listening to some of the like some of the musical arrangements and of some of those older songs are like definitely influencing what I do.
Right.
Especially, which I think is dope. Like it's something that like it's very personal experience that feeds to what I do. So
very cool. Now, since you've been in Auckland, you've opened up the studio, right? Over, what's it called? 5 a.m. Limited? So tell me what's involved with that. What are you doing? What are you doing there?
As to be honest, this is a new studio space. It's in Wairau Valley, which is on the shore.
Right.
So, yeah, to be honest, we were very lucky with the space because the space was pretty much built by someone else who had built the space and then had kind of like, it was almost like not long after he didn't really want to do it anymore.
Right.
So we kind of took it from that, like already being like really like having a lot of, in terms of treatment and having the rooms built. We were fortunate that we didn't have to actually spend a lot of money on that.
Yeah, that's cool. Got it ready made, eh?
But, yeah, we put all the gear in, and lucky enough, I don't know, I'm a real gear nerd and like gear collector. I don't know why. I think I just like, I've always had enough studio equipment for more than one studio. So there's 2 rooms there, and we've managed to get both of them sitting up, like, so they act as a it was originally set up as like a control room and a live room, but we just thought, we can have it set up like that, but then we also can have them work as their own like independent rooms. So like right now, like I work out of one of them.
Right.
We just have like a few other producers that come through and do their work, but we really just like just made it a cool home for just any new like music I'm working on as a producer. There's like a bunch of artists in Sydney that I've been working with who have like flown over here, and it's like a cool space for them to come in.
Sure.
That's it's just a really creative hub at the moment. And we also have a little office space where my younger brother, who's a videographer and like 3D designer, he does his work out of there, and we have another friend that does like video content. So yeah, it's just cool. And it's cool that I think it's like out of the city. I think my last 2 studios have been in Kingsland, which is like, you know, the classic.
For me.
yeah, and it's like all the along like Kingsland Strip all the way out to like some of the street is like all sort of studio vibes.
Yep.
Like all the studios exist. I think it was cool that when we found the Waido sort of spot, it was like a cool, like, sweet, like this would be a cool way to actually just get out and actually have our own isolated place.
Yeah.
I live in the city, and when I drive home late at night after, like, it's so nice, like it feels like we just like left like a different town, and you see like coming around that bend where you start to see the whole lights in the sky tower. That's nice. I really enjoy it, like having that not as accessible. When you're out here, you're kind of locked in, you're working. That's the kind of vibe.
Cool. So now that you got these 5 songs out there, are you thinking about what you're going to do next as an artist?
I think so. It changes. Like it just always changes. Like I've got more songs that like I could put together another EP.
Right.
That like of songs that I'm like, I love these songs. These songs are really cool. It'd be cool to actually put them out.
Yep.
But then you start hearing other people's albums that come out and you get exposed to new music, and you're like, oh man, I'll make some stuff like this.
Yeah.
Forever in that, I think what I'll do is just kind of see how this plans out. Like there's some other stuff we're doing with the EP, like doing some sort of cool in studio sort of live videos of the songs.
Right.
So we'll start getting into that. And yeah, I guess we'll see. Like I have to juggle up having artist stuff and being a producer.
Yep.
And like I like the fact that those two can play into each other. So I just want to think about that too. Like, where's my production sound going? Like, should I make more of a statement with my artist stuff by pulling more of my the production sound I'm in at the moment?
Yeah.
Or like, do I just keep being experimental and just like having fun and all of it? Just want to have fun anyway.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm really in that sort of considering like all these things at the moment because I want to keep putting out some stuff.
And do you do any live shows?
No live shows at the moment. I think I was just talking to I had another interview before this, and she was asking, "What you got shows coming up?" And probably not.
Fair enough.
I think I'm so enjoy like being in the studio and creating, right. And I will at some point reckon we'll do something live, but like I'll make that moment more special and more thought out, and not just try, like I don't know. I'm definitely someone that if I'm going to do a live show, I want it to be crazy, and I like want it to be an experience. And like I really want to think about what that looks like and do something different there. But yeah. I mean, so right now, like no shows, but we'll just keep being open to seeing what comes up.
Yeah, very cool. All righty. Well, thank you very much for all of that. It's fascinating, and I hope the EP does everything you want it to do, and look forward to seeing what you're going to come up with next.
Yeah, appreciate it.